Hi everyone, Fubzy here with another of the popular map tactics series. I know I did say in the last one we are going to cover Ghost Town, but in all honesty I don't really feel that I'm qualified to really do this. I've only played it a few times. It's normally in like team battles or things like that, and really I wouldn't have the best of knowledge on how to play this map. So rather than giving you some half-arsed guide on how to play it that's going to do more harm than good, let's jump into the next one that I'm going to cover, which is Highway. Now, Highway is one of my favourite maps in World of Tanks, and again, by popular request, we'll add the grid squares. So let's cover from down here in this base first, from base 2. First of all, base 2 is the harder of the two bases to play. I do feel that base 1 has an advantage, and that's because if you find that your team is, let's say you've lost the field, if this base is being capped, this is pretty much flat ground to return back to their base. If this base is being capped and you're trying to fall back, yes, you go downhill, which picks up some nice speed, but you've got to cross the water, which slows you down. You've got to climb back up the hill, which slows you down. And again, from this side, it's very flat coming back into there, and you have to traverse the hills and the water there. But normally, if anything, it's this side that will get overrun and your heavies that are stuck down there. But let's dive straight in anyway. So we'll start with the artillery. Nice and easy one, this. The artillery from this base will normally be camped in and around the spawn somewhere. There's bushes and hills that they can use. If you're being really adventurous, you can even come further forward, and there's a big hill just here that you can sit on top of if you've got the range and the confidence that you're not going to get spotted. There's bushes here you can use. So there's plenty of places you can sit in artillery. If you are in a TD, a lot of people, and this bugs me when they do this, a lot of people will start off in these kind of places. If you're in a TD, please don't do that. You can be a lot more aggressive. You can get yourself further forward. You can use the buildings as cover, and then you can start putting some serious damage down into the enemy tanks that do manage to get spotted as they're coming across here. Or if you wanted to support your heavies, then just come further forward. You know, if you sit in the base like this, you're not going to do anything until half your team's dead and they're already started to push through. So yeah, I'd advise that you be a bit more aggressive and push further forward. If you're in a light tank, there's a really good spotting bush just here. If you can get into there from your spawn quick enough, if you can race along here, down there, and get into there without getting spotted, you will spot anything that crosses here, anything that comes through there, anything that's silly enough to come out into this area. The only thing you really need to watch for is any enemy tanks that got a similar sort of idea and they want to rush into this kind of area of the map early doors as well. But it is quite easy to fall back and run away from there as well. Your other option, if you're in a light tank, for me, is that you try and get up here before the enemy team can get in and start trying to win this area. Again, I do see people that come and sit in this bush. There's a bush there. That bush gets blind fired by just about everything, by anybody who's played more than one game on this map. It's a so well known spot. You will get clicked by Artie that hasn't even spotted you. It's just really overused and not really worth it. This is far more valuable, so is this. So that's where I would advise if you're in a spotting tank. If you are in a medium, really you want to win this field if you're a medium. Obviously, again, it depends on the makeup of the enemy team. If they've got 10 mediums, you've got 2, then you're obviously not going to go and fight against 5-to-1 odds. But there is a ridge along here, and you can use that fantastically. Even though it looks like an open field, there is a bit of a ridge. If you're in something like a 140 or T62A, anything with good turret armour, you can get shots across into here. you could also come and use these buildings as a bit of cover and fight for this area. This job here in particular, using that ridge, people will look at you like you're an absolute fool and you don't know what you're doing. I had a guy asking the team to report me and all sorts because he hadn't got a clue what I was doing. And by the end of the game, I'd got 6,000 damage all from that spot, without really taking any damage in between. You can move backwards and forwards to dodge RT, and it's a really, really good spot. If you're in a heavy tank, or if you're in a TD that's got very, very good frontal armour, then you could come over to the town here. If you're in a TD, you're probably going to want to try and get somewhere like that, or on the corner of these buildings here, where you can get them into columns, and anything that pokes, you can take your shot, but they're going to be forced to shoot you in the front rather than flanking you. And if I can just delete them for a moment so they're out of the way, because it's a bit cramped on the map trying to show you otherwise. Your other good heavy tank positions are just in there, because you've got this building here which can provide you cover and cover from artillery. On this corner here, you can get onto this corner, or if you're nice and quick, if you're in something quick, then you can even push up as far as here. I wouldn't advise that you push up as far as this house immediately, because if it all goes wrong and you need to fall back, you're going to get shot coming through that gap. Possibly if there's anyone there, they're going to shoot you as well. So I wouldn't go too much further than that to begin with. So let's get a look at the green team. So from the green base then, we have got artillery positions. Now, one of my favourite ones, you got a line of trees just here. I really like to go in there. It shortens the distance to getting anything that comes over here, and I really feel that this is the key area on the map to try and win. A lot of people go into the town, they love brawling it out in the town, but this is just, to me, it's by far the better area to win. You've also got a big dip all around in this kind of area here, so you can also go into these positions. If you're going to support the town, this one again does shorten the distance, so your round will get there quicker and more accurately. But as I say, if anything, I prefer to support the field really. TDs, now this is one where, more like this one, I actually feel it's better to stay near to the base, because there's a real lack of cover if you want to go over towards the field. So with this one, you do kind of have to just play right on the edge of your render range, unless you're in something that's very, very well frontally armoured, which case again you can go in and try and support the town there. There is a train here and buildings down here, so you can also sit with your side against that to protect you from artillery, and again to give you shots down there. What you do need to be aware of though, if you're going to do that, is anything that might try and come around there. You will sometimes on the enemy team get them trying to battle through just this area here. It can be a very, very risky position to go into, but it can also be quite rewarding sometimes in there. Excuse me. So medium tanks, if you rush over from the start, you can sometimes get up to this area, depending on what kind of a speed your tank's got. If it's something like a bat chat, you can make it up to here. If it's T54, however, you're more likely to just get into a dip just here, and try and brawl out in this area. You can also use the same ridge that I was talking about from the other base here as a way to try and get yourself hull down and battle your way through into there. If you're in a light tank, trying to get up and win these bushes can be a very, very good thing. Try and counteract the enemy scout, and also light up anything that comes down here. Another good spot to go is just on one of these outcroppings here somewhere. I think it might be on this one. There's some good bushes and you can get in there, and again gives you some nice spots. It also allows you to spot anything that comes into this area or battles in through the water, and then from there you can fight yourself up into that bush, and then, as I was saying, there's lots of things you can use as cover to eventually work your way around into the enemy base. If you are in a heavy tank, no surprises where you're going to go. you're going to be going to fight the heavy tanks in the town. So the good positions that I like are on this corner. You can also get into these doorways here. If you do, depending on if they've got artillery, so you can go in there. If they do have artillery, then when you pull back to reload and for cover, you're just going to pull back into there. If they don't have artillery, you can actually pull back into there as well, just to give you some added cover. And if you have got a second tank that's maybe in here, then you can get up a little crossfire on anything that tries to push. If you have got artillery on the enemy team and you go in there, they can land shots onto you. They can shoot over that building and hit you in there. So that's one position. And then again, another one would be anywhere on the corners of these buildings here, shooting down into there. If again you're talking mediums and there's a mismatch in the matchmaking, you can also get onto the corners of these buildings and using the train and the rubbles as cover. But again, you've got to be very careful of artillery honing in on you there. So I hope you've enjoyed that one. Next we will probably be doing Himmelsdorf. Very, very nice map, Himmelsdorf. So until next time, guys, take care. Please think about like, sharing and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.